Ridouan Taghi was a man who liked living in the shadows until he was forced out. A Dutch-Moroccan man running a lot of illegal businesses and making a ton of money was just known as the Butcher. But now that his secret is out, Ridouan Taghi is a Dutch-Moroccan criminal who was one of the most wanted fugitives in Europe for several years. He was the leader of a criminal organization known as the Macro Mafia, which is involved in drug trafficking, money laundering, and assassinations. Taghi was born in Morocco in 1977 and moved to the Netherlands with his family at a young age. He became involved in criminal activity in his teens and quickly rose through the ranks to become one of the most powerful and feared figures in the Dutch underworld. In December 2019, Taghi was arrested in Dubai by the United Arab Emirates authorities in a joint operation with the Dutch law enforcement agencies. He was subsequently extradited to the Netherlands to face trial for a number of serious crimes, including multiple murders. Taghi's trial began in March 2021 and is ongoing as of my knowledge, cut off in September 2021. Now, if we're doing brief intros here, here's one for Peter R. de Vries. Peter R. de Vries was a Dutch crime journalist, television presenter, and commentator known for his investigations into high-profile criminal cases in the Netherlands. He was born on November 14, 1956, in Aalsmeer, Netherlands, and passed away on July 15, 2021, after being shot in Amsterdam. De Vries gained international recognition for his work as a crime reporter, particularly for his coverage of the disappearance of American teenager Natalie Holloway in Aruba in 2005. He also covered the case of the kidnapping of beer magnate Freddie Heineken in 1983, which resulted in the capture and conviction of the kidnappers. De Vries was the recipient of numerous awards for his journalism and investigative reporting. He was also a regular commentator on Dutch television programs and frequently spoke out on issues related to crime and justice in the Netherlands. De Vries was shot and critically injured on July 6, 2021, while leaving a television studio in Amsterdam. He was rushed to a hospital where he underwent surgery but sadly passed away 9 days later. The shooting sparked widespread outrage in the Netherlands and led to calls for increased protection for journalists and tougher measures against violent crime. Now, let's dive deeper into what actually happened. Peter had a very good moral ethic and he has passion for his job. At the time, Nabil B, because of some killings that happened, had soured him, which led to him standing up against the Butcher and decided to testify against Ridouan Taghi. But this did not sit well with Ridouan, and so he ordered a hit. But Nabil B was in custody, and so the hired hitmen were instructed to kill his family members. Nabil asked for police protection, but they ignored as they didn't really know who Ridouan was, and eventually, when Nabil's brother was spotted dead in his car, Nabil was a witness, and so Peter R. de Vries was interviewing Nabil and posting articles and news about Ridouan, and that made Peter a target as well. Peter played a significant role in the Marengo trial, which is one of the biggest and most complex criminal cases in the history of the Netherlands. In this trial, Nabil, as a key witness, is providing testimony against a group of suspects accused of involvement in a series of violent crimes, including multiple assassinations. Dirk Weersum, a lawyer who represented Nabil B in the trial, was assassinated in September 2019, which prompted Nabil to seek new legal representation. After struggling to find new attorneys who were willing to take on his case, Nabil turned to Peter R. de Vries for help. Despite Nabil's criminal history and the serious nature of the crimes he was accused for, Peter agreed to act as his confidant and assist him in his trial. He recognized the importance of Nabil's testimony in bringing justice to the individuals responsible for the violent crimes that had terrorized the Netherlands. Peter's decision to support Nabil was not without risks. He knew that standing up against the gang, he was putting himself in danger. However, he believed it was his duty as a journalist and a citizen to speak out against crime and injustice. Peter's involvement in the Marengo trial was an example of his commitment to justice and his bravery in the face of danger. His tragic death in July 2021 was a devastating loss for the Netherlands and a reminder of the risks that journalists and advocates for justice sometimes face. Peter had a reputation as a fearless and outspoken journalist who was not afraid to take on controversial subjects. He was known for his coverage of high-profile criminal cases and was often sought after as a commentator and guest on talk shows in the Netherlands. One of the most notable cases that Peter was involved in was the so-called Macro Mafia trial, which focused on a criminal organization involved in drug trafficking, money laundering, and assassinations. In this trial, a key witness named Nabil was providing testimony against the suspects, and Peter was acting as his confidant. Despite Nabil's criminal history, Peter believed that everyone deserves legal representation and was willing to help him speak out against his former gang members and leaders. Peter's view was that all victims of crime, whether they're prostitutes or criminals, are equally important, and he was committed to seeking justice for all. Peter was a regular guest on RTL Boulevard, a popular Dutch television program where he discussed a wide range of topics including crime, politics, and current events. He was known for his critical voice and his willingness to speak his mind, even if his opinions were controversial. Peter's legacy as a journalist and advocate for justice was marked by his unwavering commitment to truth and his willingness to take on powerful interests. His tragic death in July 2021 was not only a loss for his family and friends, but for the Netherlands as a whole, as he was widely regarded as one of the country's most respected and influential journalists. On the evening of July 6, 2021, Peter left the RTL Boulevard studio in Amsterdam after appearing as a guest on the program. After he walked towards his vehicle, he was followed by several individuals, one of whom was sitting on a staircase nearby. CCTV footage captured Peter walking away, then several gunshots rang out, leaving him critically injured. It later emerged that the shooter was Delano G, a former contestant of the Dutch version of the television show So You Think You Can Dance, who had aspirations of becoming a rapper despite having a criminal record for relatively minor offenses such as burglary. Delano was reportedly paid €150,000 to carry out the attack on Peter. In the aftermath of the shooting, several individuals who had been present at the scene captured footage of the incident on their phones and shared it on social media. This led to widespread shock and condemnation across the Netherlands and beyond, as people expressed their support for Peter R. de Vries and their outrage at the brazen attack on a prominent journalist and advocate for justice. Despite being warned that he was on a kill list for his role in assisting Nabil B in the Marengo trial, Peter refused police protection, believing that it would hinder his ability to work with witnesses and on other ongoing cases. Unfortunately, this decision proved to be fatal, as he was later the target of a brazen attack that left him critically injured. The news of Peter's shooting sent shockwaves throughout the Netherlands, with even the king and queen expressing their sadness at the tragedy. Many regarded Peter as a national hero, thanks to his tireless efforts in solving cold cases that the police had given up on. His father's motto, "On bended knee is no way to be free," reflected Peter's belief that no one person is more valuable than another, and that no one can overpower us. Meanwhile, Ridouan Taghi, the alleged mastermind behind the Marengo trial, is currently being held captive in the EBI, the most secure prison in the Netherlands. This facility is reserved for the most dangerous criminals and those deemed to be at high risk of escape. As a result, Taghi is not permitted to have many visitors and his movements are heavily restricted. But surprisingly, Ridouan Taghi's lawyer was revealed to be his nephew, and despite over 40 visits, their conversations were being monitored. However, it was discovered that they were using a writing method to communicate during their conversations, with the lawyer scribbling notes and holding them up to the glass for Taghi to reply. It soon became apparent that Taghi was using his lawyer as a middleman to continue his criminal activities from jail, including issuing kill orders. Furthermore, there were confirmed reports that Taghi was planning an escape from the EBI prison, with plans involving weapons and even oil being spilled on the roads to impede any pursuing cars. In one plan, prison employees were to be kidnapped to facilitate the escape, and these revelations only serve to highlight the danger and severity of Taghi's criminal activities, as well as the need for increased security measures to prevent further harm to the public. Well, Peter was a hero and is forever immortalized for his willingness to justice.